When it comes to fashion watches, and man, is that a loaded term, fashion watch. When it comes to fashion watches, most horologists are quick to simply write them off as like a superficial accessory that was made by a fashion company that really doesn't have any business making watches. Let's for a moment go ahead and take a look at one fashion brand that is kind of crushing it in regards to wristwatches. Kind of. You know, some people call Cartier a fashion watchmaker, and that's not really the case. I mean, Cartier was really an innovator and kind of the whole reason that we have wrist-worn timepieces in the first place. There is another really big fashion house, Hermes, who's making waves with some of their more recent offerings in the wristwatch space, and I think those are very, very impressive. I've actually reviewed one here on the channel. There's Chanel, who's been making watches for a while, but none of those ceramic, ugly things really impress me at all. But what about Ralph Lauren? I know, when you hear the name Ralph Lauren, you think polo. And personally, I mean, most of my daily wardrobe is polo, Ralph Lauren. I'm not trying to flex, I'm just saying these are kind of very common things that a lot of people, a lot of my viewers probably use day to day, whether it be, you know, their fragrances or colognes, their leather goods. I have a Ralph Lauren belt that I've worn like forever. Their shirts, they're just, it's kind of ubiquitous. Like, polo is everywhere. And as common as that brand is, I guarantee you, you probably don't ever associate them with wristwatches. I know I don't. But in this episode, I'm going to show you why Ralph Lauren, when it comes to watches, is so close, yet so far. It is 2:03 p.m. Let's get down to business. Alright, this episode's brought to you by The Time Teller Shop, my very own store, and we have some awesome watches available for the end of February. Guys, take advantage of this coupon code because it's not going to work once this month's over. So you guys know, when it comes to dress watches, I pretty much can't help myself from mentioning Cartier and some version or iteration of the Tank. I'm just obsessed with that design. It's so simple, so refined, elegant, and sophisticated. Tank watches, even if it's not made by Cartier, it could be a Seiko Sup 880. A rectangular watch is just something that, I don't know, gives me the tingles. That's why I'm obsessed with the Cartier Tank. That's why one of my grail watches was the JLC Reverso, which I was very fortunate to purchase myself on my 30th birthday. So you can imagine around 2017 how excited I was when I learned about the Ralph Lauren 867 series. Now these watches are a 35 by 35 millimeter square dress watch, only 8.9 millimeters thin. It's a Sellita based automatic, and I assume they are using that very thin Sellita SW300 one because the listing on the Ralph Lauren spec sheet is the RL300 one. So yes, it's probably the SW300 one. It does have a 4 hertz movement, so nice and smooth, and 42-hour power reserve. So you might be asking yourself why I don't personally own one if I'm such a big fan of that watch and its kind of simple but refined design. And the truth is, it's because of the price tag. They were released at $4,600. And we're gonna kind of talk about the pricing a little later in the episode, but I wanna share with you a watch that just got announced from Ralph Lauren, and it's the Ralph Lauren Safari 42 millimeter. Now, as the name suggests, this is a 42 millimeter watch with kind of a weathered stainless steel case, 11.5 millimeters thin, and it also has a Sellita-based movement. Again, listed with the RL301 automatic, which is the SW301 Sellita. Now this watch is a very industrial design with the exposed screws on the bezel, screw spring bars. You're getting some really nice, you know, big 12 o'clock, big 6 o'clock Arabic and smaller Arabic numerals going along the sides. Nice splash of orange with the second hand. It actually has a really interesting spiral texture that you can see from the rendered images that we have on the media kit for these watches. Now, what's interesting is these seem to be released on bund straps, which I think is a really, really nice touch, especially for the kind of whole aesthetic of this watch, the safari watch. It's kind of rugged. I think that was a very, very good choice from their design team. And I don't remember if I just mentioned it, but this does have a threaded crown and a 100-meter water resistance rating. So this is like a legit kind of field watch that you can take anywhere and not have to worry about it. So again, when you look at this in totality, sapphire crystal, coated case, 100-meter water resistance rating, Sellita automatic, threaded crown, rugged bund strap, you're thinking these are some really nice specs and some really great functionality from like a fashion house like Ralph Lauren. We wear their shirts all the time. Who would think that they would make a watch this rugged and functional? This is something I would absolutely have on my wrist. My one issue, it's being released at $3,900. And this is why I said earlier that they're kind of crushing it. Kind of. They're so close, yet so far. I've seen micro brands that utilize this same movement with comparable specs that are sold at a fraction of the price. And it's not surprising to me that Ralph Lauren is using their brand name, their brand equity, when it comes to pricing their products. Every business does that. Every single business uses their brand name to position their product or services within a certain pricing structure. Like that's not mind-blowing. But what kind of is a little bit mind-blowing to me is a watch this cool, this functional, and this rugged coming from Ralph Lauren. So again, my only gripe, I'd love to see that price tag drop a little bit. It's not going to. They're going to be able to sell these for sure because people are going to know the brand name and probably scoop these up. If I can find one secondhand in a couple years, I might purchase one of these safari watches, and I would definitely wear one of those 867 little square tanks. I think that's an awesome, awesome watch. But let me know what you think. What is one fashion watch, a watch that came from a fashion house, that is kind of your guilty pleasure? Leave it in the comment section below, and I'd love to read those and roast you guys in the comments section. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.